I'm Clarissa Ward in Ukraine, and this is CNN.
Welcome back to State of the Union. As Ukraine braces for an expected Russian offensive this spring, Western allies this week split over how to best help. While here at home, it's not clear House Republicans will back any more Ukraine support. Here with me now is Republican Congressman Michael McCaul of Texas. He is the new chairman of the House Foreign Affairs Committee. Thank you so much for joining me. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Dana.
A lot of stuff to talk about with Congress and Ukraine. I first want to ask you about what we're seeing in Monterey Park, California. Yeah. In your home state of Texas, there have been a lot of mass shootings. Uvalde, Sutherland Springs, El Paso, Santa Fe. You voted no on bipartisan gun legislation last summer that got a pretty big bipartisan vote. It was pretty incremental also. Would you support any gun control measures in this Congress?
You know, I was a counterterrorism federal prosecutor. I was chairman of Homeland Security. You know, Chicago has probably some of the strictest gun laws in the nation, yet the highest murder rate. So, you know, the way I look at it is we need the intelligence, we need information sharing, we need to connect the dots. Every one of these cases, and I guarantee you're going to see it in this one as well, the shooter had warning signs along the way. We just didn't respond or pick it up. So in my judgment, we could create a system. I introduced a bill that we could take public information on the internet, have an algorithm to stop the threat before it happens. That is a smart approach rather than, you know, violating Second Amendment rights. And so, look, I hope we can get that passed. We're seeing this movie way too many times.
Yeah, we are.
And it's absolutely tragic.
Yeah. What about a red flag law? Federal red flag.
Well, in a way, what I'm talking about are red flags, and every one of these. But you know, Chicago, Illinois has red flags.
I know. Well, you keep bringing up Chicago, which I understand, but the guns in Chicago come in from other places because there are a patchwork of laws across the country. There's no federal law.
Right. Again, we stopped, and I saw it when I chaired Homeland. So many terror attacks because we got the threat information in advance and we stopped it. We can use that same formula here domestically, although it's a little different. You know, the Constitution didn't apply overseas, but we can do that here and stop these threats before they happen.
Let's talk about Russia and Russia's war on Ukraine. Ukraine is still asking for more help, as you well know. You had pretty strong words about Germany, because Germany so far is saying no to transferring its tanks to Ukraine. You called it a cowardly decision. It seems like we're at a pretty key moment in this war. What do you think the Biden administration should do differently with regard to this particular standoff?
Well, the NATO Secretary General Stoltenberg called it a pivotal moment. I think that we cannot slow walk the weapons. And you know, even the Wall Street Journal had a great editorial where they said, you know, there's no moral or strategic case for giving Ukraine just enough weapons to bleed for months, but not for victory. I've been a proponent of let's give them what they need, because when we do, they win. The tanks are vitally important. Why? Because we know with the new general Putin put in place, they're going to start a major offensive on the eastern flank in the Donbass. And we know that's going to happen. The tanks can help stop that. Germany will not put one tank in. Remember Germany, Nord Stream 2 pipeline? They won't put one tank in until we give them reassurances we're going to put our Abrams in. If we did that publicly, that would unleash so many Leopard tanks, because there are 10 other nations that are looking for Germany to sign off on the tanks that they have given them. That would be a game changer. In addition, the tactical missiles called ATACMS that can reach Crimea to take out the Iranian drones.
So, Mr. Chairman, are you arguing here for the U.S. sending Abrams tanks to Ukraine?
100%. We don't have to send very many. All we have to do is send enough to unleash what Germany has and what the 10 other countries in NATO have. NATO has to share the burden. One good thing that came out of Ramstein, the summit, was that NATO countries are sharing the burden. It's in their backyard. It's in their best interest.
And there's no concern that this could be an escalation in the eyes of Russia?
You know, they said that with Stingers. They said that with Javelins, HIMARS. I mean, look, I think Mr. Putin is a provocative one here who's escalated this. He invaded a sovereign territory aggressively, unprovoked.
Mr. Chairman, a lot of members of your conference, fellow Republicans, they want to stop giving money to Ukraine. Should Ukraine be worried that the money is going to stop coming from the U.S.?
No. I think there's enough support on both sides of the aisle, majority in the Democratic Party, majority in the Republican. The National Security Chairman, like myself, support this. I don't think they quite understand what is at stake. If Ukraine falls, Chairman Xi in China is going to invade Taiwan, and it's Russia, China, Iran, who's putting drones in Crimea, and North Korea that's putting artillery into Russia. They have to understand the case. And they talk about the border, not mutually exclusive at all. We can do both. We're a great country. We can walk and chew gum at the same time.
Let's talk about some things happening on the home front, specifically the revelation last night that the FBI found 6 more classified documents at President Biden's private home in Delaware, and that was after a 13-hour search, one that he invited to get to the bottom of it. What is your reaction, and do you feel satisfied now that the FBI has what it needs and has everything?
I don't know, because every day it seems like they're finding more documents. And so I think what's significant as a former federal prosecutor is that no longer are they relying on the attorneys to comply, although it was consensual, the search. But the fact is the FBI conducted this search, not his attorneys. That really ratchets the investigation up.
But as you said, they invited the FBI to do so.
They did. And I think that's true. I don't know. The DNI, Director of National Intelligence, won't give Congress any information about the documents. I hear it pertains to foreign adversaries. I don't know. The Chinese gave a $30 million contribution to University of Pennsylvania at the same time the Biden Center's being stood up. And what is there a connection? I'm sending a letter out tomorrow to the State Department, Secretary Blinken, asking for what communications, what contacts were made, what were these documents, were Chinese officials at the Biden Center. And the fact that they're in the garage with a Corvette and in a home where Hunter Biden is recovering, and he took a picture on his laptop of important documents. I just think, Dana, there are a lot of unanswered questions here.
Yeah, just for the record, University of Pennsylvania said the Chinese money did not go to the Biden Center. And we don't have any evidence about Hunter Biden being related to this at all.
But they do have a 1,000 Talents program. That's their classic way of permeating.
I have to ask you, we're almost out of time, the debt ceiling. You have voted in the past to raise the debt ceiling, in fact, 3 times even since 2017. Why not do it now?
Yeah, and I think if you don't, you have catastrophic economic consequences.
So you will vote for it?
Well, I talked to Kevin McCarthy, the speaker, yesterday. He made it very clear. I'm ready to sit down with President Biden today to talk about a reasonable debt ceiling, which would mean meaningful spending cuts. The fact is, we should be having these conversations right now. We know that Secretary Yellen's going to she can put this off until June. June's going to be the target month. But the Speaker of the House is willing to sit down today with the President of the United States and try to work this out. And I would encourage him to do that.
House Foreign Affairs Chairman Michael McCaul, thank you so much.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Dana.
it. And congratulations on your chairmanship. I haven't seen you since.
Thank you.